shining through the haze. Global watchmen lighting up the maze. They don't flinch, they don't fold, digging deep, breaking the mold. Truth patrol on digital ground. Every whisper, every sound. Hey, eyes on the truth, no turning away. Global watchmen shining through the gray. From the shadows to the screen, they decode what the silence means. Click subscribe, let the veil be torn. This is the news we've been waiting for. Turning away. Global watchmen leading the way. Every story, every thread, for the living and the misled. Raise your voice, let the signal soar. This is the news we've been waiting for.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you are in the live chat, we do ask you to keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platform we're utilizing tonight or today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when we go live. So this is going to be real quick, guys. But I ran across a video that I tore the audio from, and I put some visuals too. Israel's been in the news a lot lately, and there are a lot of people finally waking up and questioning the validity of their claim that they are, quote unquote, God's chosen. The Bible is a progressive book. It's a living testament. You can't get stuck on one verse. You have to take that in context, and you have to keep reading, because God's covenants, they are conditional. You do something and then you get something. You don't do it and you break the covenant. God's given Israel, I should say, he's given the Israelites the opportunity to be his chosen several times, and every single time they piss it away. Great example of this is when, actually right when they came out of the desert after 40 years. They couldn't go, a week without building an altar to Baal and starting their sacrifices again. The Bible, like I said, is progressive. Yes, they have built an entire theology around one verse in Genesis. When the Bible goes on in Jeremiah, it talks about God divorced them because they couldn't stay faithful, which is why divorce is allowed if your spouse is unfaithful. People say, "Oh, you can't be divorced." There's certain things that, yes, you can. One of them is being unfaithful, because God divorced Israel. And in 1 Kings, he basically, again, he told them, "Get away from me, get out of my sight. You guys, you can't just worship me. You have to do these other things." And the Bible's clear. It says that if you deny Jesus, his own word says, if you deny me before men, I will deny you before the Father. That includes them too. And all of these Christians out there that support, because they've been told, they've been gaslit for their entire lives to believe that they are God's chosen. They can do no wrong. And if we talk against them, we're labeled anti-Semitic. You're a Jew hater. No, I'm not. I just don't like lies, and I don't like being lied to. Who's the one group of people that we're not allowed to speak out against? I mean, they have the Anti-Defamation League, just to go after people that are speaking out like I'm doing right now. The Bible tells us in Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 that there will be those that claim they're Jews and not. They are the synagogue of Satan. So I found, like I said, a really good video. I'm going to play it for you guys. And we'll come back when it's done.
Was 1948 a fulfillment of Bible prophecy? No. Christians will assert that one of the strongest proof that the Jews are God's chosen people is that God brought them back into their homeland in 1948. But was that the Lord's doing? You see, God repeatedly warned the children of Israel in the Old Testament that if they forsook God and worshiped false gods, that he would disperse them into all nations as a form of punishment. Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 27 says, "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you." he also placed strict conditions upon them if they wanted to return. The Bible says in Leviticus 26 and verses 40 to 42 that if they confessed their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, if they humbled themselves and accepted the punishment of their iniquity, then he would remember his covenant with Jacob and he would remember the land. Basically stating that if they believed on him, they would be allowed to return. Now this happened multiple times throughout biblical history, but the event that broke the branch off the tree was when Jesus Christ came. The Jews not only rejected Jesus Christ, but also had him crucified at the hands of the Romans, thereby displaying their rejection of the God of the Bible. Jesus Christ, having foreknowledge of this, cursed the nation of Israel in Luke chapter 21 and predicted the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, which eventually took place in 70 AD at the hand of the Roman Emperor Titus, causing the Jews to be dispersed into all nations, fulfilling the curse of Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 27. This curse would follow them into all nations where they were excommunicated from because of their predatory lending practices and their blasphemy of Jesus Christ. But then later, a man by the name of Theodor Herzl constructed the concept of Zionism, asserting that the Jews should leave Europe and settle in their homeland as a solution to the persecution. After World War I and the destruction of the Ottoman Empire, British Foreign Secretary Lord Balfour wrote a declaration to Rothschild describing the necessity of a homeland for the Jews. And of course, after World War II, with the aid of the United Nations, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of a Jewish state on May 14, 1948, proving conclusively that the political ideology of Zionism brought back the Jews, not their faith in Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you can see, and I'm sorry, it was quite a quick video, but it was a lot of information in a short period of time there. And basically, and this is something that I've said repeatedly throughout the years, I've never faltered on this, I've kept, this is the way it is the fact that and I call it the illegal state of Israel because it's exactly what it is, was not put forth by God. And here's the thing. You cannot say that it was put forth by God when you have the Zionist Balfour Declaration, which includes the Rothschilds, who we know are Luciferian. So who really put the state of Israel in place in 1948? If it wasn't God. The Bible tells us in Luke chapter 21, chapter 21, Luke verse 24, it says, "And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled." When is the time of the Gentiles fulfilled? When Jesus comes back for the second time. That is when they will be dealt with. It floors me to see how many Christians support this Luciferian government. It really does. And the number of Christians that are behind the building of the third temple. Why would Christians send money and support the creation of a third temple when that temple is not for Christ? We are the temple. That temple is for the Antichrist. And the Jewish people, they will be the ones to help him wage war against the Christians. And they're going to do it through the Noahide laws. The Noahide laws are very detrimental to Christians. The Noahide laws look biblical. They look good on paper. The first one is you have no idols. That's great because that is one of our commandments. The problem with that is through the Talmud and through their belief system, they believe that worshiping and believing that Jesus Christ is the Messiah is idol worship. So essentially, every single Christian out there will be in violation of the first Noahide law. What is the punishment for breaking this law? Decapitation, beheading. This should click with people. You should listen to this and it should click and you should be like, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. But so many are brainwashed because they've been gaslit their whole lives. And it's not just through social media. They've been gaslit their whole lives through their pastors. How many pastors out there are pro-Israel and will preach to you nonstop? They're God's chosen. We need to love them. No. Jesus firmly said that if you deny me before man, I will deny you before the Father. It doesn't say except for. It's scary to see the number of people right now on social media defending Israel. Israel is committing genocide and has no plans to stop. You can argue all you want that Hamas needs to be neutralized. I agree with that. But there's innocent women and children and men that are going to be exterminated. It's going to make the Holocaust look benign. We need to find our voices and stand up for what we know to be true. And that is, they are not God's chosen people. They are the synagogue of Satan. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with exposing them. When Herzl created Zionism and the term anti-Semitism came out, they knew exactly what they were doing. The creation of the Anti-Defamation League, same thing. They know exactly what they were doing. You've got to protect your captors. Stockholm Syndrome. So I just got a text message that says, will you please stop all those Palestinians supported the October 7th attacks by Hamas? Well, I think Charlie Kirk was starting to wake up. And he even said, was there a stand down order? When he went over to Israel, he said that you couldn't go 10 feet without seeing an IDF officer with a gun. There was no way. There was that border was so fortified. But yet on October 7th, they were just allowed to walk through. And not only that, but for 3 hours, massacre people. October 7th was a false flag. Designed to bring about what is happening right now, to give Israel the green light. ISIS, Hamas, Mossad, check to follow the money. Find your voice. Stand up for what you know is true. And if you know somebody who's brainwashed by their God's chosen, send them this video. Until next time, guys, remember, eyes open, no fear.